Hello, it's Carmayori. Today I want to talk to you about the situation with Britney Spears and the conservatorship that she has with her father. For those of you who are a bit new to this situation, Britney Spears is, or I guess was, a pretty famous pop star who sort of struggled with drugs and mental illness a while ago. And as a result of these, she, I guess, sort of did some things that she perhaps shouldn't have in public. She sort of had some meltdowns in public, I guess. So as a result of this, in order to, I think, just like save face or like better preserve her image, she was put in a conservatorship, which basically just means that someone else makes all her decisions for her. So instead of her being able to choose, for example, like the image that she creates for like the outside world or like really what she does at all, it's basically someone else who does that. The person who does that mostly is her father. There's another co-conservator. That's what they're called when they make the decisions for the person. That is named Jodie Montgomery, but I'm not going to be talking about her as much. But her father is what I will mostly be talking about today. She recently opened up about not wanting to be a part of the conservatorship situation anymore, but I think that this is why you should care. So the first reason why you should care about this is that it will set the tone for how we think about people with mental illness trying to reach out for support or trying to criticize the sort of support that they've been given. If we agree that the reason Britney Spears was put on this conservatorship was related to the fact that she struggled with mental illness, then we really should take seriously her claims about really not being comfortable with this anymore. Because if we claim that we're doing this, to help her mostly, because it's as a result of her illness that she was in the situation of being on this conservatorship, then if she thinks that it's not helping, then we need to be very attentive to listen to that. This is like really important in my opinion because it sets the stage for how we treat other people with mental illness. So when we think about other people, are we just gonna go, nah, I think they're just acting crazy, or are we gonna actually consider what they're actually going through and listen to them seriously? When we add in the fact that it doesn't seem like the conservators, her father or Jodie Montgomery, need to necessarily sort of speak with any mental health professionals or anything like that to talk about the decisions that they're making on behalf of Britney Spears, then it seems like this is less so something designed to actually help Britney Spears out and more so designed to sort of criticize her for being crazy and then sort of assert that since she, and by extension people with mental illness, are causing problems, this is the best way to cause them to not cause any more problems, as if that's the only thing that people with mental illness do. The second reason I think you should care about this is that Britney Spears is a woman, which sort of makes, in my mind, the way the situation goes relevant to how we think about the way we would treat women in the future. So historically, women have had a sort of history of being defined based on their relationship to or with other men in their lives. So in a situation where literally a man is basically making all the decisions for her, I think it's really important to evaluate whether or not this is what we actually want to be happening. I think that in our society we sometimes view women as just crazy individuals sometimes who, rather than people who like have reasons for their actions, but they just sort of act out for no reason, I suppose. So I think it's really important that we're not thinking of Britney Spears in that way in the situation, but even further, I think that in our culture, men are more expected to be able to be independent, whereas women are not only not expected to be independent, but are sometimes expected to be dependent on someone else. So in a situation where Britney Spears is literally dependent on someone else for all the decisions that are made in her life, I think we really need to examine whether or not in this climate of empowerment for women and girls around the world, if we're making a step back. And for the third and final reason why I think we should care about this, this relates to how we think about parent-child relationships. Now, if Britney Spears, an adult who is just asking for a little bit of freedom from her father, who has basically been allowed to have absolute control over her life, is going to be ignored after her pleas, like that she's given in court and just in public and just clearly been wanting, how are we going to think about how we're going to treat children? how a parent is going to respond to a child's desires. If we think that this adult person is not allowed to just live her own life simply because she is her own person, then are we going to deny children their ability to even be their own person when they're just starting out and learning who they are? I would hope the answer is no. I really think it's important that we, through this situation, learn to treat everyone's desires and needs as legitimate, and thus pay really close attention to whether or not this conservatorship should be canceled. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Sorry that it's sort of cut strangely and that some of the way it looks is sort of weird. My editing is going to be a little bit weird on this, I suppose, because I sort of recorded this in a weird way, but hope it turned out okay. And if you enjoyed it, please like it. If you want to see more things like this, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to go ahead and keep the discussion going, you can leave a comment. Thank you for watching, I guess, and peace out.